Any question, please? I can't see any hand. All right. Let's look at 2 Corinthians chapter 2. I read from verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. My particular interest in that verse is the word ignorant. The reasons for the teaching we're having this month is for people to have spiritual illumination, spiritual enlightenment, needed information to travel through. That there are great destinies that have been cut short because of some of the things we are studying. The man Lot would have been greater than he was had he discerned the time and understood that self is an enemy, because self is an ally to the enemy outside, who is Satan. And the moment yourself is not crucified and that self dealt with, it will impede the progress you should make, or the height you should attain, or some accomplishment you should have in the journey of life as far as God's program for you is concerned. And we look at this. Satan takes advantage of our ignorance. And the moment we are ignorant, because he will always tell you, I'm sure you remember in Matthew chapter 16, that when Jesus spoke about his death, and he told the disciples that he was going to be crucified, the Bible says Satan entered Peter, and Peter said to the Lord, that appeared innocent, and what he said appeared sympathetic, but behind that was the enemy. And what was Peter saying to the Lord? Pity thyself. And self is an enemy. And Jesus, seeing beyond the words, understood, if I'm to sympathize with myself and pity myself, humanity will not be saved. That means I will not give my life, give myself on the cross of Calvary for the redemption of humankind. And that has been the problem of a lot of people who say they know the Lord and they are serving the Lord. Self-seeking, self-glory, and self-exaltation, self-pursuit, personal interest that has no consistency with the revealed will and word of God. And you go to the cemetery, you go to the grave, you find a lot of great destinies that are buried there because of selfishness and self-centeredness of men and women who didn't want to submit themselves to God-appointed leadership. And that's why they were cut off. And that's why you don't need, Paul emphasized this over and over. Don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant. Look at 1 Corinthians chapter 12. In verse 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 1. Now, concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I will not have you ignorant. Very important. My people perish for lack of knowledge. People are destroyed because they are ignorant. And when you are ignorant, you know, I've seen people in places, all they are bothered. Let's narrow it back to our marriages. Why do marriages end in divorce courts? Self. Me, I, myself. And people forget to understand that at the point you are making a covenant with a man, with a woman, you are giving up that self. You are laying down that self to accept, absorb, accommodate the other person. So as you wake up in the morning, who am I living for? I'm living for my partner. That's what I read from my Bible. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 32 through 37. That the married woman wakes up to think, how do I please my husband? And the married man wakes up, he's no more living for himself. He's living for his partner, his wife. And the problem why the marriages are packing up in 21st century is because people now don't die to themselves. They don't want to submit to another person and follow through what God, and I want to remind all of us here, our callings are within the confine and context of where God has placed us in the church. If you are not faithful there, you can't become greater than who you are now.